Hey guys, what's going on? Third Shirt Reactions back with you. I am Tom.
Shane.
James.
And we are back with BoJack. The final season, season 6, episode 12.
Yeah, guys, the last batch of episodes. We're glad to have us three back. Zach couldn't make it, unfortunately. Hell of a last episode. BoJack, he admitted everything to Todd, Diane, and everything that he could remember.
Right.
He's had such kind of a toxic, I don't like overusing that word, but just a toxic past couple of decades. And he doesn't remember all the bad shit he's done and the people he screwed over. Sarah Lynn. It looked like he was much more, not complicit, but he knew much more about her death than he led the cops to believe and the media believe. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we still have the clear picture of it. It seems to me that she was dying and he left, and then he came back. And maybe I'm misunderstanding
Left
that.
her to die is how I kind of took it.
That's how I took it too. And we were enlightened by the comments that it wasn't something that was brought up at all before. Because I was like, well, I don't remember him saying that to anybody. But the show is revealing more and more details. What have you been thinking of everything that's been happening so far?
Yeah, it really was good how BoJack started to turn things around. But in typical BoJack fashion,
Yeah.
shit is about to hit the fan again.
Yeah, and it's one of those things to where he's reaping what he sows, and he has legit tried to be a good person. It looks like he is. Diane recommended that he comes clean. He said he would. Then he told the reporters, no, none of these are true.
You know, it reminds me of some stories I've heard in the news where, you know, guys like decades later that, you know, now seem to be upstanding parts of the community because of DNA testing and stuff. Their DNA comes up as like serial rapist and shit like that. You know what I mean? Where like they...
How the hell...
What?
How's their DNA come up serial rapist?
Well, because, you know, what happens is like they committed crimes like in the 80s, 90s before DNA was a major thing, but the police did their due diligence to capture the evidence.
Yeah.
So what they do is they run their DNA through these databases, and then, you know, as time goes on, their DNA gets in the database.
Jesus.
So through either some other crime or whatever, just, you know, what I don't...
23andMe.
Yeah, 23, it might, I don't know, like, who knows, but, and then boom. They hit the registry and come to find out they were a serial rapist, you know, 20, 30 years ago. And now they're a fucking, you know, on the city council. They're, you know, a businessman, whatever it may be. And their whole lives are just like that.
Well, if you're a serial rapist, it should be.
It should be, absolutely.
If you're a murderer or a rapist, you should be.
But it shows, like with BoJack, you know, shit comes out. It comes full circle, and eventually it's going to hunt you down, and the truth's going to come out.
Yeah, so to me, the thing, like, he's done a lot of immoral things, but with Sarah Lynn, if he left her to die, I mean, I think that's
the worst of the worst.
I think, like, that, and that's prison time, if you ask me.
Fuck yeah.
So, everything else you can say, dude, you're a piece of shit.
Well, I don't know if that's prison time. I guess if he was doing drugs with her, it is, I guess. But there is, like, I don't know of any Good Samaritan laws. Basically, what I'm saying is, like...
Well, if you leave someone to die when they're dying...
If you're using drugs with them, I don't know. I don't know how far that goes.
You're a cop. You're a cop. You arrested these people.
For example, if you see somebody high dying on the side of the road, and you're walking down the street, there's no law that says you have to get down there and help them, or you have to call the police, or you have to call an ambulance, that I know of. Now, if you're doing drugs with somebody, though, in a room, and they overdose, I think, then, yeah, you could be charged with, like, manslaughter. Because you're involved, because you're fucking doing drugs with them. You know what I mean? So
if you see someone shot, and they're begging you for help, you can just keep going, and you won't get in trouble?
I don't know of any Good Samaritan laws.
Yeah, every state's completely different with Good Samaritan laws.
And maybe we can look that up, but I don't know of Good Samaritan laws. Like, it's nice to be a Good Samaritan.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you should be a Good Samaritan, but I don't know of any laws.
Well, they call it, the Samaritans were bad. They just called him the good one. That's funny. That's what's funny about this, the Good Samaritan law. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's like the law is implying that we're all assholes, but if you could be a good one, you know what I mean?
Did you hear that tech executive that was in San Francisco here a few weeks ago, and he got stabbed like in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m. He was near his like rich posh apartment condo.
No, I did not.
Well, like there's video of him, and I don't know if it's been released, but I just read the article where he got stabbed, and he was literally like going up to Good Samaritans and going up to cars like help me, and he just
really,
and he fucking died.
Well, they probably thought it was like The Last of Us, and they were faking him.
Well, I mean, it's San Francisco.
He ain't even hurt.
It's San Francisco. Shit's crazy there, so they probably just thought.
Dude,
some
San Francisco's a shithole, dude. I'm sorry if you live there. I love Full House, but like, dude, like that place with some of their laws,
and
like
Full House too.
Violence has been escalated like crazy.
People
because
pissing and shitting on the subway or on the
yeah,
sidewalk.
Just like, dude, like,
yeah.
And they want to give them, you know.
I see.
You should move there, Tom. Like,
actually,
they have, it's definitely not going to pass. but they want to give like this large amount of money to people just if you're black.
Yeah.
Go there, live there for a year, come back here. We'll fund the channel. Like just like 500,000, you keep the rest. You keep the rest 75%.
Yeah. You know, I saw a video of San Francisco the other day of this very obese woman sitting naked on the sidewalk dancing, and her tits were just like woof, woof, woof.
Dude, that happens to me all the time.
You know what I mean? And people, literally, this is how bad San Francisco is. People were just walking by her like it was fucking normal. Just another day in San Francisco.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I you know.
Fuller House.
It's one of the. I want everything to get better for everyone.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad that it's not, and everything's politicized.
Go Giants.
What?
The baseball team.
Baseball team.
Oh, okay. I was like, geez, what? All right. New York, fool. But all right. Anyways, guys, before we jump in, we appreciate you guys. And just to let you know, so far, last time I looked, Archer is going to replace the show. It's going to be me and Tom. Jamie's going to pop in and out whenever he wants. Maybe you'll be in the first couple. Since he edits them, he knows exactly what's going on. Nothing goes up on this channel without going through his eyes first, unless it's Star Wars, things we're not trying to spoil you on. Anyways, guys, much love. We appreciate it. Let's start episode 12. You okay?
No, I don't feel well.
All right. Well, after this, we'll do some ginger tea.
I brought like 5 or 6 pills. It's called Zofran. It's anti-nausea medication. You just stick it under your tongue, it dissolves.
Okay.
It works in like 10
Like
minutes.
acid.
BoJack Horseman's involvement in the overdose of Sarah Lynn in an explosive new Hollywood reporter
Mass
expose.
shooter stopped by
Is
other mass
BoJack
shooter who happened to be mass shooting at the
cancelled?
same park.
Find out
Right.
tonight when the horse
Not
himself
funny.
sits
For the first time ever, we'll hear the real story of the last days of Sarah Lynn.
I don't believe it. I left shoe leather in 6 different states and spun the scope of my career all to get sidetracked by a sit-down with a second-rate celebrity sucker. I shall miss making mincemeat of the misdeeds of mischievous miscreants, but I must focus on my new mission. Why do you talk like that? We're from Fresno.
Well, I love her dialogue, dude.
It
I
was
looked up the
funny.
voice actress. She's apparently just some voice actress.
You're gonna watch, right?
No, I can't waste my energy getting worked up about that guy. I've done enough of that, like years of that.
Yeah, but it's not like you can just...
I need to work on my book. These mall-related mysteries aren't
You
going to
go on
solve
the goddamn
themselves.
diet.
Spoken like a very emotionally healthy woman.
I do
Done
too.
as a professional writer.
I do too.
Waste
I know it's the
my energy
antidepressants,
about that guy.
and I'm on antidepressants too. And look at my fat ass. So I get it.
You are, and you can say that.
I can say it.
Mysteries aren't going to solve themselves.
Look at me.
Everyone will feel bad for him. He'll talk a lot about his addictions. Showbiz is awful. My parents were abusive. He'll say he's changed, that he's not that guy anymore.
Yeah, you sound real done with it.
I am. I'm just saying.
We want to shoot for pensive.
And this will keep you from talking with your hands, which can be construed as aggressive.
And whatever you do, don't get defensive.
Whoa, am I my 3rd favorite Bruce Springsteen song? Because I was not born in the USA, nor am I tougher than the rest. But I am blinded by the light. Nice smile, buddy.
Do you need to be here right now?
Since your interview is leading into the season...
Getting ready for the interview?
Yeah.
Oh, you've got your work cut out for you because people hate you right now.
I'm aware. Thank you.
That story, wow.
I keep hearing about this new girlfriend of yours. When do I get to meet her?
You can probably take this part of the conversation elsewhere. Right this way.
We should go on a double date with you and Pickles.
Pickles and I are putting our relation on a brief hiatus at the mo. But as soon as she returns from her work trip... excuse me, I'm receiving
Work
a
trip.
text message, and it appears we have broken up forever.
You're gonna be great.
Story came out this morning about the last days of Sarah Lynn. How did it make you feel?
Honestly, I felt relieved that now I can stop lying.
Are the allegations in the story true?
They are. Sarah Lynn was 9 months sober. I invited her on a bender. We spiraled together for a little over a month, and then she overdosed.
On heroin you purchased for her.
Well, I didn't purchase it for her.
There's no need to get defensive.
I'm just trying to be accurate. You're making it sound like I had extra heroin because I do so much heroin. I had that heroin because I wasn't doing heroin, so I had it. You understand?
In your original statement to the police, you said she called you.
Okay.
You came to the planetarium and found her.
Eventually, I decided to stop waiting for something to change me. I had to make the change myself, and that's why I went to rehab. And I'm very proud to be 1 year sober next month.
So if I'm understanding you correctly, Sarah Lynn dying was part of that decision.
It was part of it, yes. I've made a lot of mistakes.
Can you share some of those other mistakes?
I don't think that it would be fair to the people who were affected by those mistakes, all of whom I've apologized to in private.
Now that you're sober, do you think you'll stop making these mistakes?
I do. It's been a lot of work, but I look back at that other BoJack and I think, Who is that?
And who was he?
I came from a broken home, and I used to feel like my whole life was an acting job, doing an impression of the people I saw on television.
Some have accused Sarah Lynn's mother of exploiting her dad. When you hear all twerk and no play in a Geico commercial, or see Sarah Lynn's face on a billboard with the slogan, "I die for a Pepsi," how does that make you feel?
Sad. Angry. Honestly, it feels like that's what killed her.
If you could talk to her mother now, what would you say to her?
I would say, I wish you could know how sorry I am. Am I crazy, or did I nail that?
It was good.
Oh man, when she brought up Sarah Lynn's mother, she was setting me up to throw her under the bus, but then I said, I'm sorry?
Well, we'll find out in 3 hours when it airs.
Princess Carolyn doesn't seem confident.
And that's why the band Chicago is not one of the top 10 Chicago
Man,
bands.
she's making me want a hot dog.
Hot dogs are great.
I love hot dogs.
They're freaking amazing. We had a long talk about hot dogs. All three of us. We're doing hot dogs.
I remember that.
But, you know, it is a little weird that one of your best friends is a huge celebrity and you never want to talk about her.
Roxy's really more my best friend.
Well, you never talk about Roxy either.
I don't understand what her job is, and it's too late for me to ask. You don't share your past life with me. You want to talk about weird? I've lived here 6 months, and I still haven't met your son.
Cool, let's get dinner tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
It's always funny when her eyes do this.
Nailed it.
I saw your interview, BoJack. As a recovering addict myself, I was spellbound.
Wow, I had no idea.
And I see no reason why
You delivered MBM the best ratings we've seen in years. You just bought us 6 more months
MBM?
of not having to sell ourselves to a larger media company that strips us for office furniture.
Just talking about all the buzz.
I want to strike while the iron is hot and do a part 2 tonight.
Part 2?
There is no part 2.
No.
It's right there in the title.
Just sit down with biscuits again and tell a few more colorful anecdotes from your years partying in Hollywood. Then,
do not do
an
that.
encore presentation of the Birthday Dad finale.
Makes sense.
We got what we wanted out of this. I don't think we should push it.
I'm helping people. Move over, sad dog. Make room for Remorse Horse.
That's great, BoJack.
Listen, I'm ready to move on and go back
Look
to
at the scratching post.
I was thinking the same thing.
Be part of the conversation. Then I'm kind of a dick if I don't do another interview, right?
You told the police you weren't with her when she died, that she called you from the planetarium?
Yes, I lied.
Weren't you afraid the police would check the phone records?
I went into panic mode.
And then what did you do?
I thought we were going to talk about other stuff.
What did you do after you called your own phone, BoJack?
I went outside to the parking lot. Why are you asking about this?
Biscuits for XP, Sinclair. You've been here.
A pleasure to meet you.
Your disgusting display of soft-pedaling sycophancy made me want to quit the journalism business altogether. 2 days prior to when I planned to get married and quit the journalism business altogether.
She a hamster? Or a mouse? Gerbil? I don't know.
Gerbil, I think.
Did it ever get complicated, working with her while maintaining a sexual relationship?
Well, she's always been good at keeping her personal and professional lives separate.
Quite an accomplished woman.
You said it. She was an agent's assistant when I met her, and now she's running her own company. Plus, she's a great mom.
Oh, fish. Mom, I forgot about Todd's date.
Did you take a high school girl to her prom?
That was a family friend.
Did you help a teen mom sneak out of rehab and take her to a high school party?
I didn't take
You had sex with the president of your fan club. You had sex with your agent's assistant. You party with underage girls. You don't see a pattern here?
It's not a pattern.
Do you enjoy having power over women?
I don't even know what that means.
You don't know what it means to have power over women?
All these women that you mentioned, I never forced myself.
Not through force, but you understand the power differential.
So I can't be with any woman I might have power over? Who does that leave me with?
I'm just pointing out a series
You think
of...
everything is this nefarious scheme?
The first time Sarah Lynn ever got drunk, she was a child. And it was vodka, right?
How do you know about that?
You were bringing vodka to the set of Horseman.
But just watching
That's his
BoJack
counselor.
in that interview, talking like he's a victim in all this. If the world only knew the things I know.
I understand. As a therapist, you're not at liberty to divulge what your client told you in confidence.
But I'm not a therapist. I'm a therapy horse. I can tell you everything.
Oh.
Because Sharona was a drunk too, so you can't... It's not like I got Sarah Lynn drunk for the purpose of taking advantage of her. She was 10. I didn't even have sex with her until she was 30.
I'm sorry, what?
No, I just mean
Did you say you had sex with
that
her?
We weren't addicts.
You ever wonder what would have happened if you didn't take those 17 minutes? Do you think she might still...
No, look, obviously when I did all that stuff, I wasn't...
So to recap, when she was intoxicated, you had sex with her. And when she was sober, you gave her the heroin that killed her.
They were both intoxicated.
Then in an effort to cover for yourself. And you don't think you have any power over women.
So it didn't go great.
The gross part is she doesn't even care. This is just a ratings win she can use as leverage.
Well,
for
that's
her
why
next
you wanted to
paycheck.
go back.
She was all over the place. But I have also hurt a lot of men.
I told you to do just the one interview and go back to Connecticut.
But it's gonna be okay, right? You want to grab some tacos?
She'll fucking listen to her.
She'll listen to her, man. Yep. It's like when you get in an argument with your girlfriend, wife, whatever, and it ends in a peaceful note. You just let it go from there. You don't revisit it.
I really thought Sonny was going to be younger.
Yeah, me
Coach
too.
lived me up for the rest of the season.
Wow,
That's
congratulations.
amazing. Why didn't you tell me? My dad has a thing for broken women. Then he nurses them back to health. And when they're better, they leave. You gonna leave him?
Does your dad think I'm gonna leave him?
It doesn't matter because eventually my mom and dad are gonna get back together. They're still in love.
What? No, they hate each other.
No, they don't.
They fight all the time.
What? Really?
Dad hates my mom.
Of course not.
Why would you say that? You're so mean.
I was gone for 2 minutes.
Dude, that sucks. What can you say?
Is this anything? My girlfriend was upset I gave her a CD for Christmas, but she gave me VD for Hanukkah.
That's nothing. And possibly anti-Semitic. Hold still.
Oh, I am so ready to never do stand-up again. Malibu's for pretentious rich douchebags.
That's Beverly Hills. Now, you might never get a star on the Walk of Fame or a wax statue, but this way, you'll always be immortalized and undisturbed in Hollywood forever. Unless they repaint.
Hey, listen.
Horsing around. Hated it.
Yeah, that's a hell of an opener.
But my baby brother loved it. I'd be in my bedroom sulking and I'd hear him laughing his ass off in the living room. He had this great laugh.
Steve
Drugs
Martin.
took a lot from him, but still had that laugh.
Didn't see him.
Right up to the end. Now anytime I hear anything about that show, I
Sarah
hear my
Silverfish.
brother's laugh. Thanks for that.
Oh, shit. You're welcome.
Hey, do you want to go up?
Oh, man. I haven't done stand-up in years.
You're famous. They'll get a kick out of it even if you suck.
Oh, shit. Here we go.
Yep.
It's about New Orleans and jazz and Hurricane Katrina and drugs and John Goodman.
Sounds exciting.
You need some milk up in that motherfucker, man.
I keep the door open.
Alpine sweat.
Okay, Mom.
That door open shit,
Hey, do you want to watch
dude.
the second part of the
Doesn't
story?
change anything.
I don't know. That guy was
Not
my
if they're on a
best
different
friend
floor.
for
No.
5
I think I'd get lonely.
How about this? What if you had your own place, but you shared it with someone?
Like a roommate?
Or a girlfriend?
But Maud, you're my girlfriend. What am I supposed to do? Get a second girlfriend just to live with?
No,
And by the way, you're one to talk. You still live with your mom.
Yeah,
Why don't you get your own place?
Right, that's actually
Wait,
what...
I just got an incredible idea.
Yeah?
Let's both say our ideas at the same time. 1, 2, 3.
Ice
Salty
cream sandwich
gum.
flavored ice cream. Also, we should move in together.
Oh.
Salty gum? Is that what he said?
Disgusting.
I guess what I'm getting at is, I keep hearing you say, that's not me, I've changed. Is it a different person? Or is it you?
Yeah, it's me.
So there he is, kind of admitting it.
Alright, let's just cut the crap.
What?
He shouldn't have done the second interview.
He should not have done it.
No.
He
stupid.
should not have done it. If he wanted to, like... I mean, it was so sincere, I thought it was, like, okay, I'm behind this BoJack. Like, he acknowledging mistakes, he's not going into detail. And he has shown us that he could be a better person. But then when he walked out of there, oh, I nailed it. I was like, well, okay. Just don't go back for the second interview. Be a better person. You could be excited that you had a, what's it called when you delay death? Starts with a P.
Pardon.
No, not a pardon.
No.
Reprieve. It's called a reprieve. So
Well, that definitely starts with a P.
I know, I'm sorry. I couldn't remember. It's a reprieve. But P is prominent in reprieve, baby.
It is.
All right. Here's the thing, though. She's calling him out on his bullshit. And I think that's okay for her to do her job. Some of those questions were a little unfair and without context. I think there's a conversation about, I think you got to analyze all his relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I agree that he had power over every single one. And I don't know if in a lot of relationships, you know, women didn't go for him because he was someone of high status or essentially power. You know what I mean?
Do you think they did?
I don't know. We had to examine them. And I think typically, this isn't my opinion, that men target youth and beauty, fertility. Women target status and wealth, right?
Right.
And there's a lot of evolutionary reasons because of that. So, like, I think some of those things, like, is slightly unfair. Now, I definitely don't think anyone should abuse their power. I don't think anyone should say, you know, I'm in this position, and if you want this, then sleep with me or suck my dick, and then I will make sure you get that job. Or I will make sure you get a job in this industry. If there's something consensual, and they have the power to consent, I don't think we should take that away from women who have that power.
Right. He had a good point, though. He was like... basically, do you think every woman that I've been with, you know, I've used my power, or they've just been with me because of my power? And that is difficult for someone that is in a powerful position to gauge.
Yeah, there was an actor on the Joe Rogan podcast, I can't remember. He said, what's the point of being famous anymore? We all want to be rock stars and movie stars. Right. And I'm not saying...
so you can end up on an interview like that and have to...
Well, the thing is, like, you definitely shouldn't abuse if you're in a high position. Like, that's terrible.
Right.
Okay, and I think he has done that. But, you know, like, for the sake of the interview and for ratings, I think she's saying, like, this is what you do, this is who you are. You've used, I mean, Sarah Lynn, you know, I think she had a lot of responsibility in her decisions, you know what I mean?
Well, and
she was a celebrity as well. And the whole alcohol thing, he got his hairdresser lady fired, and it was actually her or his alcohol. They both were shitty and bringing alcohol to work, being drunk.
Right.
They don't know whose alcohol it was, but his hairdresser lady, I can't remember her name, she got the blame for it. He didn't give it to her, she took it.
She took it, and it's just like if you have alcohol in your house, and when you're gone, your kids go and sneak the alcohol. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was like 10-year-old.
Yeah, he didn't groom her.
Here you go. Here's the alcohol. You know what I mean? It wasn't like that.
Yeah, the show hasn't revealed to us that he groomed her or anything like that. So I think that's just like the dirtiest thing you can say to someone.
Yeah.
You groomed this girl?
It was pretty bad. I mean, it was Sarah Lynn, like a lot of young child actresses and actors, was just kind of a victim of that industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sorry guys, my furnace came on. I'm going to turn off after this one, so it'll be off for the next episode.
Yeah, but a victim of the industry. I mean, this happens to a lot of young actors and actresses. Is they just get into Hollywood, they get into the party lifestyle, the rich, the money, the fame. Yeah, I mean, so I can't blame that on BoJack. Maybe that's more of like the system, just like the...
Yeah, you can blame the system. Right. I mean, he's a part of that system.
Right.
And it didn't help being around BoJack, and it didn't help that he called her to go in a bender. Like, I think he should feel a lot of guilt and personal responsibility for that.
Absolutely.
But she still made a choice. And when it came to having sex, I mean, she's way above consent. I think the power dichotomy, because she became more famous and he kind of faded into obscurity.
Right.
Because she became a singer and all this other stuff. So particularly the power dichotomy there, I think I don't agree with. Now with Penny's daughter, whatever her name, Charlotte?
Yeah, Charlotte.
Charlotte's daughter, Penny, right?
Right.
There was a power dichotomy there. And
she
she was 17, and in that state, the age of consent was. I mean, I know they didn't have sex, but there was a power dichotomy, and I don't, I have to watch it again. I don't know if he abused that power or if he was just happened to be an older guy. And
well, I think it's something you should be aware of as a man. Is anytime you are in a position of power, especially when it comes to age like that, like I don't know how old it was at the time, but say he was 40 and she was 16, 17, like, and he's famous. Yeah. Like, he needs to be aware of the boundaries. Hey, I'm a famous man. I do have a bunch of power. Women like me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, so he needs to understand, like, well, there's some obviously underage I shouldn't go for.
Right, and there's a young girl that is just going to naturally be into him.
Yeah.
Because of who he is. He's a famous actor. He's got a shit ton of money. He's on TV, movies, whatever. He should have been aware of that.
Wait a couple years like Leonardo DiCaprio does.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, wait till they're like 19.
And you know what, Jamie? I was sitting here thinking about your guys' conversation you were just having, and I thought about the fact of it's kind of grueling in Hollywood because consider the fact of if you do something that you shouldn't do as an actor, celebrity, athlete, whatever it may be. So you've got the potential criminal aspect as well, right? Prison, whatever it may be. But you have a second aspect that the three of us wouldn't have to deal with, and that's an interview like that, where a lot of times in Hollywood, that interview is the judge and the jury, right? Even if there's no criminal charges, or it's maybe borderline, or maybe they got off with a light sentence, that is the judge and jury.
Yeah. Court of public opinion.
That will decide your fate.
And that can go either way. I mean, we saw the first interview go really well, and you know, he was coming back up.
He should have
stopped at the first one.
He should have fucking stopped. He should have quit.
It bothers me.
It bothers me too, especially since I've seen him kind of like when he walked out of the interview. I felt like, man, he just felt like he was up there lying.
Right.
I didn't believe he was lying. I think he just doesn't want to get in trouble. I mean, a lot of people are going to think I'm trying to get him off the hook or whatever, or I support the things he's done. I think he's done a lot of shitty things. I think he deserves what's going to happen to him.
Right.
I will say that. I do think the interviewer was doing her job and trying to make him look more shitty.
Well, she's trying to create drama because it's about ratings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I will say, Tom, it's a good and a bad thing for that celebrity or for BoJack, because say he didn't have that platform to try to change the viewpoint of him, how society looked at him, or how the public looked at him.
Mm-hmm.
If some bad shit happens with us, we don't have that. So it's just like whatever's on the front page of the newspaper. If we did some fucked up shit, it's the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, and that's the story, and that's what it's going to be. And
I guess I would argue that they're more under a microscope and the stakes are higher. You know what I mean? So with us, it's like
the stakes are, but I mean, we've seen a lot of celebrities come back from bad shit.
Oh, for sure. Who was it? Epstein. He was already in jail for sleeping with an underage girl, like in the 90s or some shit.
Yeah.
And then he was still in a position where he did all this shit and had his island.
Well, it's funny you say that. We won't get off on a huge tangent, but it's just coming out now that he was like a CIA agent, or not agent, CIA asset.
Yeah.
And
I've heard that too.
Yeah, basically they were using him to hook in world leaders all over the world to his island. So they had dirt on him. You know what I mean? And it's
so
pretty fucking crazy.
It is crazy because then that means they were aware that of the
they
stuff.
were in on it. Yeah, they were aware of it, and
that's also why they don't want the shit getting out. And they don't want to release that list of people who were there.
And that's why he was Epstein.
Therapists and priests. I don't think they should ever,
no matter what,
come forward.
On that horse tried using I'm a therapy horse.
Yeah,
I'm not a therapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's shitty. So I think BoJack deserves what's coming. I feel bad because he's trying to be a better person. And, I mean, to me, a lot of it's about what he did to Sarah Lynn. You know what I mean? When it comes to...
That's everything to me.
Yeah, when it comes to the other stuff, whether he had power or not, I just think those things need to be examined individually and everything else, and ask questions about evolutionary biology. You know what I mean? So
the other things are bad, and it made him, a bad person. I mean, at least in those moments, a bad person.
Yeah, I'm not saying he's not a shitty person.
But the Sarah Lynn shit is like,
well, he waited 17 minutes. He essentially killed her. I think that's terrible.
He let her die. It was like,
yeah, but for him to go up there and say, I didn't have the power, I think it sounds scummy. I think it's a conversation. I think it needs to be examined. For him to go up there and deny it and then say like it's everyone else's fault, I think that's. I think it's bad form. I don't think he's right. I don't know if he's wrong. I think it's a conversation.
Yeah, he had the power, but I don't know if in general relationships, like with women or anybody, that he like purposely abused the power, like to get sex and stuff like that. I think he knew it was just, I'm famous and I can get women if I want women. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like okay, I had a friend in high school. He became a supermodel.
Right.
And I've talked to him. He said, yeah, I became a supermodel. I got a lot more women. They didn't. Even though I was good looking before, they didn't want me until I was a model.
Right. Is that an abuse of power? I don't know if that's abuse of power.
Yeah, but again, this is all predicated on the fact that he did the second interview. And I'm not like trying, like you, Shane, I'm not trying to cover for him and say,
if he didn't do it, then he would have got away.
You'd have gotten away with it.
Yeah.
Because I agree, he needs to answer for the wrongs that he's done.
But
However, I don't know, debatable. But
debatable.
Again, it's all predicated on the fact of you hired Princess Carolyn to get you through this process as your publicist, right? And she said, do the first interview, be honest, be open, blah, blah, blah. He did that. Everything was fine. To me, like you made a comment, Jamie, about having a relationship with a wife or girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
Let sleeping dogs lie. Don't poke the bear. You've settled matters.
You don't poke the bear like
that
jackass for the Grizzlies. What's his name? You heard that story? What's his name? Okay, so he's for the Memphis Grizzlies, and he's guarding LeBron. And
Currently?
Oh yeah. I can't remember his name.
He said
Yeah.
they were interviewing him. He said, "I don't care. He's old. I poke bears."
Yes.
And then he fucking had his like worst series ever after that.
Yeah.
And the Memphis Grizzlies just said, "We're not bringing him back under any circumstances after." I think they're making him the scapegoat, but he definitely should not have said that, dude. It's just
Absolutely.
Anyway, sorry. You said you poke bears. It just made me think of that. And LeBron put on his Instagram, "If you see a fight between me and the bear in the woods, help the bear."
But he'll still never be MJ.
He'll never be fucking MJ.
Sorry, anyway.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just I'm really having a hard time reconciling the fact of doing that second interview. Because here's the thing: that interviewer had the opportunity to ask some of these more difficult questions the first time around.
Well, she didn't have the information from whatever her name is, from Paige Sinclair.
Hey, that's the way the world turns. You know what I mean? Like if that's how fate was meant for it to be. I still think that some of this other stuff might have eventually come out later anyway, publicly. But for that specific interview, it's like, hey, listen, you had your opportunity to fact gather and do everything you wanted to do, right? You had the interview. He said his piece. You asked your questions.
Yeah, but
like how many times should he have to? Now that's why I said don't do the second interview.
That's what I'm saying. Like, however it went for her, she got to renew all her inadequacies of the first interview because he came back for more because he was trying to bolster his career and ride the wave.
A lot of times, as a detective,
Yeah.
You'll bring someone in, you'll interview them, let them go. You'll bring them back for a second interview, and it's kind of like what happened here. That gives you an opportunity. Okay, now I have a little more info from the source.
And you
now
establish a base. You establish a baseline.
Now I can do more fact gathering now that I have some more information from the source.
Right.
Then you come back in the second, maybe even third interview. Then you start hammering.
And they're more comfortable, so they think you're coming in. And it's going to be more comfortable for them, and you're just boom, boom.
Exactly.
Have you ever do that to someone, and then I mean, obviously people are innocent, and you still got to hammer them because you don't know.
Yeah.
Have you ever done it to someone, and they?
Yeah, but there's people that I thought might be innocent, and they ended up confessing to murders.
Yeah.
Wow. It
That's
happens.
crazy.
Did you do like Russ and Cole though, and say you should kill yourself?
Stand over him and say, "Now look, we both know."
Yeah. And
You know, one of those-
and they're crying. Yeah.
You know, when you said, Tom, to go back for the second interview, I don't know why it made me think of this, but when I was a kid, I was like 9 years old, we'd go ding dong ditch people's doors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And one time, we went once, and it was hilarious. And some dumbass got the wise idea, let's go knock on their door again. Well, the next time I knocked on their door, it was a screen door. The old man was down like this behind the door, and I went like this, and all of a sudden that motherfucker popped up.
Did he have a shotgun?
Dude, no, he didn't have a shotgun, but he had this crazy look on his face, dude. And like he's here and I'm here through the screen. And dude, I swear, I shit my pants a little bit.
What did you say? Prison isn't kind to people who hurt kids.
Yeah. If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
If you get the opportunity, you should kill yourself.
Have you told anyone that?
No, I've never told.
Have you directly messed with have you directly had to nail someone who was involved with children or anything like that? What was that your department? I wasn't sure if that was like
common.
Like, well, I wasn't sure. I mean, the different departments deal with like child abuse. I wasn't sure. Okay, one funny story about that. So my friends, I used to go to throw rocks at doors for some reason. I just pick up gravel, just throw it at the door and run. Well, I remember, dude, my friend, and this was like at 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, fucking, he picked up all this gravel throw. He just threw it. Like I would get like 1 or 2 rocks to just throw at the door. Yeah. He threw it and it sprayed the house, and someone opened the door. And they got like machine gun.
You guys are assholes.
With all these pebbles. He's like, run!
Oh my god. You know what that reminded me of? Last thing.
Okay.
When I was a kid, man, we had cats. They still have fucking cats. But my friends were over, and I went to the top of my steps upstairs of our house, and I hid behind the wall. And my friend was coming up the steps. And I don't know why, but I looked down, and there was a spoon there. And there was a cat litter box there. So I took the spoon, put cat litter box on it. And when he walked around the corner, I went, "Hey, Justin." And I slingshotted the cat litter into his fucking eyeballs.
Was it already...
It was shit-filled and piss-filled. Dude, it was disgusting.
You could go blind with that.
You could get blind, dude. What the fuck's wrong with us?
I don't know. Anyways, you were asking what gout was.
He was asking what gout was.
Real quick.
Yeah, so gout is a form of arthritis that is really hereditary. I don't know. I know my dad has it, and I know Grandma Marge had gout as well. So It's really impacted by a lot of different things that you eat. You know, even if you're an alcoholic, you know, that it flares it up as well. But basically, it's caused by uric acid building up in your joints. Common places like your big toe, that's probably the most common, your elbows. And when you get too much uric acid, it creates crystallizations in your joints, and it swells like fucking crazy. And dude, it's so painful. Like you'll go to, and it flares up like this. You'll go to bed and wake up in the middle of the night. You were fine before you went to bed, and you'll wake up in the middle of the night, and just the pressure of the sheets touching the top of your toe is like excruciating. Yeah, it's fucking
sounds terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. And there's medication you can take for it.
I remember you showed me, like, "Shane, look at this. You took your leg, and you went like this.
Like,
And there's a dent in there, staying there for like 30 seconds.
Yeah,
Look at this.
Yeah. Well, that's different. That's I can't remember what that's called, but that's different. That's just from being a fat ass.
Yeah. Which I wanted to bring up. A lot of people thought we were insensitive of Diane.
Shane.
It was just a reaction, whatever. But you're on antidepressants.
I am on antidepressants, and it's caused me to gain a lot of weight.
Yeah. And do I give you shit for it?
Yeah, hell yeah, you give
I
me
do.
shit for it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I deserve the shit. There's no excuse for me being fat. I need to work out, get in shape, be a young-looking, handsome young man like I used to be.
No, anyways, guys, Diane is one of my favorite characters. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
I got depressed and got fat, actually. But then to me, I know obesity is one of the #1 killers in the U.S., not depression.
Right, absolutely.
So to me, it didn't seem like a good idea to get on antidepressants.
Yeah.
And put myself at risk.
You know, and you know,
because essentially that's what I would be doing.
Yeah, and we didn't mean any harm to anybody out there that is in a similar situation.
But I do to you, though.
Yeah, to me, yeah,
I do.
to me. But you know, we're here giving our purest reactions,
Yeah.
and sometimes we might offend some people. And
Yeah,
that's
sometimes
just the way it
shit,
is.
maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Right,
You know, but
that's the way it is.
Or I can put a filter on myself. I don't know if you guys want that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
anyways, guys, we appreciate if you want to support us. Make sure you stay tuned for the next show that we're doing. And last time I looked, it's Archer. So we got a few episodes left, and we're gonna be jumping into that. Thanks. We're out of here.